Hello, everybody. Buen dia, damas y caballos. Hello, ladies and germs. This is your boy, your friend Tinoco, coming at you in front of my humble abode in North Memphis. And I have something to share with you, and that is what you need to know and not what you want to hear. My ideas are filtered through my own conscious and my own critical thinking. So you know. And by the way, I don't collect any advertising because nobody wants to advertise with me yet. So anyway, today's topic is going to be Britney Griner. There are a couple of different categories of takes one should consider when you contemplate the misfortunes of Miss Griner, who's now spending up to the next 9 years of her life in prison in Russia. So, the first thing I have to say is that Britney Griner is, her fate is not in the hands necessarily of Joe Biden. Let's remember, Joe Biden is the president of the United States. Britney Griner is held in Russia. Russia is not in the jurisdiction of the United States. Our laws, however we may prefer, do not apply extraterritorially. That is that Joe Biden cannot give an executive order to free Britney Griner. Joe Biden has to rely on diplomacy. And the only diplomatic solution right now available is a prisoner swap. Prisoner swap? Okay. Okay, yes. We have to give a war criminal up for a petty criminal. And this has to be someone who is of value for Russia to return. You know, it's obviously a very tilted scale in an imbalanced scale in the opinions of very many. But many people have referred to Britney Griner as a political prisoner, and that brings up an important point. If she were, then perhaps diplomacy and the offer of exile would be of benefit to our position. But no, she is a prisoner of war. We are in a war footing with Russia. Diplomacy has failed. And not that we haven't failed it on purpose from the United States side for the benefit of the petroleum, natural gas, and defense contractor interests that are so beneficial to Joe Biden in having brought him to power. But that's what's going on, okay? Is Britney Griner more important to Joe Biden than the oil industry, natural gas industry, and petrol and defense industries that have benefited from our proxy war with Russia in the Ukraine? I don't think she's more important to Joe Biden than these people. So our leverage is limited in this situation. Very limited in this situation as fans of Britney Griner. And the other thing, and I will fully admit to Joe Rogan, who many of you may criticize as a right-winger. First of all, Mr. Rogan is not a right-winger. He's very conservative. He's certainly no ideologue. He's not committed to the ideals of the right. He's an independent thinker, and many of his independent thoughts happen to go on the right side of the spectrum. Some of them are on the left side of the spectrum, especially considered the way that the media has distorted the spectrum in the United States. But that's another story. Let's set Mr. Rogan aside. Let's come back to Britney Griner, okay, and the fact that she is in prison for having violated laws regarding controlled substances in Russia. Okay. We have thousands of people who face similar fates in the United States for violating controlled substances. Many of them are, the overwhelming majority of them are black and brown. And that's what it's about. Marijuana is on Schedule 1 since the 1930s, I believe, in order to get Hispanics out of the labor force, in order to criminalize Hispanic life. This is a very provable point. Many Latinos came from Mexico in the decade 15 years prior because of to escape the violence of the Mexican Revolution. And they accepted menial jobs in the United States in order to escape the revolution. So it was good politics back then to remove Latinos from the labor force in this manner. During when we had obviously an oversupply of labor, which brings us to today. We call ourselves the land of the free when we have again an industry, not just like oil or defense, but incarceration. Incarceration is an industry. It is bought and paid for sufficient numbers of prisoners in order to profit. And one way this is so is by our war on drugs. And so we ensnare people who are guilty of doing nothing else but ingesting powerful herbal remedies, from which I think 0 people have died ever since marijuana has been put on Schedule 1. I don't think anybody has died of ingesting marijuana. It's only there in order to have a political end. It's up there with meth and cocaine and other things that can kill you. But anyway, that's the state of affairs that we have. I think the Britney Griner episode, however it's get resolved, and it doesn't look good, however it gets resolved, we need to consider the thousands of other people who share her fate in the United States, who can be liberated at the stroke of a pen, an executive order, legal action, congressional action in the United States. But this is your boyfriend Tinoco telling you what you need to know, and not just what you want to hear. Hasta luego.